Hi. Well, that kind of ended that. That was very strange. I got a message that that Chrome was causing my phone to overheat and it was gonna go off in 20 seconds to save the phone, basically. So that closed down and then I let it wait a little bit and then I tried to open up ElectroSmart just to see what Wi-Fi's were going on in my area, and there was one major one that was really maintenance here. Um, but I don't know why that would even be on because um, the maintenance guy has been let go. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to be on during the holidays. Nobody's going to be on during the holidays because they haven't quite replaced him yet. So I don't know what was going on there because Patrick was the maintenance guy. But it said it was like 30% of the Wi-Fi that was going on. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, that was weird. Was I talking about the wrong thing? Did I say something wrong? Hmm. Anyway, that was just odd, you know. There. I think Cowboy doesn't want to be disturbed. He's so how's that for a nice Christmassy scene? Except it's warm. And some people are worried about is this global warming, global cooling, global anything? Frankly, um, Ohio is so strange. I don't know. Uh, for Ohio, it's pretty common for us to have odd weather. I mean, it's never normal. So I'm going to say, as far as we're concerned, it's not a big deal. If you're having, I mean, we've been having 60-degree days, up in the 50s and even like a couple of 60s, which I asked for because, during the holiday season, people travel and there's nothing like ice and snow to cause accidents. People feel like they have to travel, you know, and it's dangerous. So, if you are pissed off because you didn't have a white Christmas, let me remind you that snow wouldn't be falling in Bethlehem, okay? There wouldn't be any snow in Bethlehem. You can get over that now. But it's so pretty. Well, it is until you drive through it and you start sliding around in it, and there starts to be the accidents because people don't know how the heck to drive on it. And all of that sort of thing. Yeah, it's pretty kind of at first. But as far as having it during a holiday, I don't like it. Anyway, so I'm glad we have weird weather here in Ohio because it's a lot safer for people to get around. Anyway, um, just another thing I wanted to say, and I should have labeled it this way. I hear that high winds are going on in the West. For anybody who does actually get a chance to hear this, And as you know, I do deal with affecting the weather. And I've pretty much kept this area safe for a long time now. We've had no real destructive weather. We've had some big storms, but not destructive storms. And like blizzards and stuff, which, is a winter thing. And I mean, there there are some things like plant bulbs and things that need to be frozen in order to propagate the next year. So really having a freeze is not a bad thing, but um, it's something you really got to ask yourself. Do we really need this? And people who are rich can go ski and find somewhere to go ski. I'm sure there are plenty of areas around to go skiing, and you can afford it, right? I mean, if you can afford to take the chance of throwing yourself off a mountain with a couple of boards strapped to your feet and maybe landing in the hospital, then you can afford to find somewhere where there's snow. Anyway, um, but around here, it's been actually pretty decent weather. Uh, it's about to go down to like 35, which isn't that bad for a couple of days, and then it's going back up to 45 and back up into the 50s again, probably. And I'll probably do that for a while. So, you know, we usually don't get that much until the end of January, beginning of February. We start to see the worst of it usually in February. But this year I've said, hey, let's kind of go easy on people. It's been a rough year. It's been a really rough year, you know. And next year is going to get even crazier. I hate to tell you. So, yeah, oh, nobody's coming in. See, nobody's coming in. I don't know if you can see me or not. I don't know if anybody will see this broadcast. But so I hear that from the West, they're having trouble with very high winds, and I mean 80 miles an hour. Now, when I first heard it, it was like they were expecting 100 mile an hour winds. So I have been meditating on it dampening down a little bit, because if those hit us over here, I mean, usually whatever starts in the west comes right across and hits the east. I mean, that's the way the weather pattern goes. So I have asked for help with those high winds because I don't feel that this is particularly, let's just say, I don't think it's quite right. We've had enough people who had trouble with the tornadoes. And if I'd known something about the tornadoes before they hit, I would have tried to do something about it. And some of you know for a fact that I can do something about it if I know. Sometimes I can do something about it, but sometimes things have to happen. So, but most of the time I can do something. But I got to be careful because whatever I do will also affect my area. So I have to be careful what I do. For some reason, if I send rain, it rains here. I have to be aware of that. I know how strange that sounds. So, but some of you know, um, it's really funny when I was on another show and I came in and I said, well, I asked for it to rain, out in California when they were having the fires, and somebody said, oh gosh, is that why it's raining elephants out here? I said, I know. I hope it's not a problem. I hope it doesn't create. I've asked for it to create, not to be too hard. If you need me to back it off a little bit, oh no, we really need the rain. I'm just hoping it doesn't cause mudslides, though, but but this person was totally it's like, "Oh, yeah, it started raining here like crazy." Yeah. Well, people were trying to send you I know I wasn't the only one too. Ever since I've been saying you can do this, people have been trying it with some success. None of this is completely outside of our control, okay? We've been hypnotized to think these things are completely out of our control. But you can talk to nature. And different people do this differently. You don't have to do it my way. But I'll tell you what I do. I just connect in with nature. I get in my meditative state. I connect in with nature. And I say, hey, and I usually end up talking to the cloud beings. They sound like children. They have such sweet little voices and they're very lighthearted. Okay. So usually I interface through the cloud people, the little cloud beings, because they're very easy to talk to. Although sometimes I have to get in touch with one of the other systems. Now, this is something you got to understand. What we're in, it has systems, okay, in place. If you know how to do it, you can use those systems to your advantage. You can also use them to somebody's disadvantage, okay? Yeah. If you figure out how to do that, yes, you can cause weather to happen. So, maybe dangerous to say that. Remember, this is all just in game, okay? This has nothing to do with real life. Real life takes place outside the matrix. And with my disclaimer firmly in place. Mother Earth, I have talked to her. Yes, she is a being. Not quite like we are, but she is a being. And she insists, and always has, that she has systems in place to take care of everything. We could have everything taken care of if we only learn to use her systems properly. The systems that she has already going. We don't need to create anything new. We don't need to do anything that's going to hurt anything. We don't have to destroy any particular things in order to do this. These are systems that are installed already, have always been there. And all you have to know is how to access them. And we've talked about this before, how you do that. Some of us still remember how to do that. And some of us have stumbled across it, I suppose. But I think probably anciently they knew. So I have asked for the winds to be mitigated and not to be so treacherous and devastating. And well, they're saying 80 instead of 100. That's not good enough. Miles per hour, not good enough. I've asked for it to become milder, so we'll see what happens. And if that happens, then I'll know I'm being heard. Sometimes it's very hard when it's nothing I can pinpoint, like an area, because usually I connect it with the area. Um, but I'm going to make sure that whatever it is, since it's heading this way, that my area is protected. And if all of you did too, then everybody could be safe. We wouldn't have to worry about these storms and superstorms and all that, because I think that somebody's going to try and play the superstorm angle, and just to terrify people because they're not terrified enough. I mean, look at last year. Last year was all about terror, wasn't it? So just to let you know, don't be terrified. You can do something about this. If you're one of my crew, you probably can do something about this. It's not out of our hands. Remember, you are divine. You're divine. Seriously. That being said, we've been brainwashed so much and gaslighted, and we literally have taken a lot of damage. We literally have brain damage from all this that we've been subjected to, and emotional damage and all other kinds of stuff. You can overcome it. I mean, people have overcome all this, but usually they're overcoming it their whole life. So don't feel bad if you don't overcome it all right away, because I certainly haven't overcome it all yet, or I wouldn't be having some of the troubles I got. Um, so don't feel bad about it. You're not alone. Even people who have been at this a while still have their issues. Okay, but I know that I am divine. I'm a being, and I'm a creator being, a co-creator. And knowing that makes all the difference, because then I can expand my mind to be able to include things like mitigating the weather. And I hate to say control, because actually it seems that a lot of these things are also beings. Are they programs? Are they beings? Are they beings that operate programs? It seems like a lot of them are programs. Or maybe it's something hard to describe. Like I said, maybe it's something like the doctor hologram, the holographic doctor on Star Trek. That's what it seems to be. Is that um, these beings are designed in the image of a real being that really does exist, but in here they're holographic and they can act within their domain um, of effect. Their range of effect is kind of whatever they're assigned to. So, and then some programs are much bigger and can affect quite a bit more, but they're backed by a real being. So it's kind of hard for us to understand, but I'm so glad Star Trek came along and gave us a way, and Star Wars and all of these shows that gave us a way to be able to talk about things like time travel and all of this stuff. Okay. Um, Looks like nobody saw this. Nobody saw this, because I don't see anybody in the comments. So you'll find it later, hopefully. Hopefully it's getting recorded and you'll find it later. So I'm just going to leave it at that, since nobody can find this right now. Sorry, but my phone overheated and I couldn't get back to it until I did. And um, remember that you are divine, and together we can overcome anything. Also, the truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some on my channel. And this is Ocean making waves. Now go out and make some of your own. I love you. I'll see you next time.